All right, so the second song, "Choke It Down."
Yeah. So that one I wrote with Dustin as well. This was the second time we met. This was an idea I had in my notebook, and I don't remember exactly how it went, but "Choke It Down" was one of the lines, and it was just kind of talking about like I guess addiction and like trying to kind of deal with depression and things like that through like substance abuse and some of my like kind of like anger issues I had dealt with in the past. And that was along the time I started really kind of like just writing in my notebook for like self-reflection and kind of like self-therapy kind of stuff.
Like a journal.
This song kind of came out of one of those kind of brainstorm moments where I was just kind of, I was just kind of writing down whatever I felt at the moment. And, some of that was reflecting on where I was at and trying to work through like, like pain and stuff that I had kind of suppressed and hadn't fully healed from 100%, and
not to get totally personal in it, so you can kind of plan. You can dive down as deep as you want or stay on the surface. But so anger issues, because it's kind of cool for people to hear to the degree that you're willing to say, okay, anger issues from what?
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I think I did not have good examples of what it meant to be a man on any level growing up, and I feel like when I found out I was going to be a father when I was like 20 years old, I had this kind of like panic moment of just
freak you out.
It freaked me out. It made me feel like a complete loser because I had no plans, no attributions, no goals really to pursue other than music. I mean, that was something I've always kind of been into, but it was also like I felt like it was that time in my life where I needed to make a decision to like grow up or not. Right. You know what I mean? It was like sink or swim kind of thing. So I just put my head down and like, I worked a lot. Like I tried to do all the things, to like,
to do it well,
to appease myself, to appease everybody else around me and make people proud of me and make them, like look at me like, hey, he's a good man. He's doing a good job. He's trying really hard. He's like working and providing for his family and all those things. And, I think for a long time though, I just got angry because like I feel like on some level in the pursuit of some of that, I really quit trying to do things that really brought me joy or made me happy or fulfilled any level. And I got to the point where I was quite miserable in general. And
so like
I think I was angry more at myself. You know what I mean? I think that's the biggest thing of it is just being like frustrated that I'm in the situation that I'm in and I'm not I'm not happy, I'm not fulfilled, I'm not doing the things that I enjoy because I feel like I have to be this completely different person to kind of make everybody else happy,
right?
To fit
so like
the man card, the man description of
so the idea of being responsible, the idea of providing for your family, but then this other aspect of being creative, writing music, stuff that you really love was not probably coming at the forefront.
Yeah. And again, it's just, I've had people in my life before that just try to act like this music thing is just silliness. It's a childhood fantasy that men don't have. Men work and provide and like they do, the hard stuff, and that's all great and wonderful, and that is very true. I mean, even as a musician, those things don't go away, but like I think I was just pissed off because instead of like following my heart in a lot of ways, I just kind of went with the status quo and like did what I thought was expected of me from like peers and, people that I was around that, I guess I was somewhat accountable to,
Right.
And,
Cool. And so let's talk about the song itself. So, you co-write with Dustin, and this one, did you each have access to a verse and just talk to me a little bit about
this was pretty collective across the board from what I remember. It really kind of turned into a love song, honestly. I mean, it's kind of about like the second verse kind of references I'm talking to my wife or whoever, I guess the other person in the relationship in the song, and it says I'm not the only one fighting with the demons. I know inside you must be screaming, damned if I do, damned if I don't. And it goes to the chorus, and like it's that it's like the story. It's telling the story of somebody in a relationship with somebody that struggles with those things like addiction and depression and things like that. And the other person is just kind of wanting to like fix it sometimes, or like doesn't understand like why this person is just not happy or upset, or like, in all this despair. And it's,
Mhm.
like in my situation, it's not necessarily anything my wife did. She didn't do
Right.
anything. She didn't
Right.
like cause any of this stuff. It's not her fault that any of this stuff happens, but it's also like this thing I had to kind of like work through on my own and like figure out. But
Right.
she's there, so she feels that rub. You know what I
Right.
mean? When I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't really know kind of like where the line is, and
Yeah.
she's having to deal with all my shit, and it sucks, right? I mean, and I know
So
it's
how
gonna
is
be
she?
frustrating to
Yeah.
love somebody even though they're like, in the midst of their pain and their suffering, and they're being difficult because they're trying to kind of fight this fight or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, that's kind of what what the second verse is about,
Yeah.
or references.
And what style? What kind of style is this one?
I don't really know. Like, I reworked it a little bit. Like initially, it was very kind of like had kind of this ballad kind of vibe to it,
Mm.
and then
Like
I think it's
Americana sort of thing? Or?
yeah, I think it still does. It almost to me, it's almost got kind of a. And I say worship just because I
Yeah.
played
No.
worship
No.
music
No.
for so
Yeah.
long, but it almost kind of has that same kind of pretty like chord progression kind of thing
Right.
going on with it that I think would be.
So do you think this could be a cool song, to remember, where it's open ballad like, and just the rawness of your voice piercing through, and a little bit of a
Yeah,
feeling
I
of,
think this one's pretty sparse overall. I don't
yeah,
think it needs a lot to make
right,
it good. You know what
yeah,
I mean? I think if you overdo it, it's gonna be. And the way the chord progression goes too, it's like I keep on 7, which is weird, but I'm
uh-huh,
just playing like basically like in the key of G. So
right,
it's just E minor, F sharp, G, C,
right,
and it just kind of repeats. But it's the way I'm playing that. I feel like it fits.
right,
There's enough movement there with the acoustic guitar. It'd be nice just to build stuff around it and
yeah,
make it complement that instead of trying to kind of, I guess, duplicate exactly what I'm doing on guitar.
yeah.
Kind of fill it in a little bit, like more than.
Turn it up, drown it out, choke it down. Turn it up, drown it out, choke it down.